Lisa and I used to joke that we shared a brain. We'd show up to lectures in matching sweaters without planning it, finish each other's sentences, and sometimes even text the same meme at the same second. Back then, it felt like magic, the kind of best friendship that makes other people roll their eyes because it's so annoyingly close. We met in our second year of university, both exhausted from group projects and caffeine dependency. Lisa was quiet at first, the kind of person who spoke softly but smiled like she really meant it. I liked that about her. She laughed at my dumb jokes, noticed the same tiny details I did, how professors always said before assigning essays, how the vending machine in the library made weird beeping noises. She felt safe, predictable, familiar. When we graduated, we both ended up in the same city by coincidence, or maybe fate. Back then I didn't question it. We got apartments just a few blocks apart, started girls' nights that were mostly takeout and bad reality TV, and shared everything from job rejections to dating horror stories. Lisa didn't have many friends besides me, and I took that as a compliment. The first time I noticed her copying me, it didn't even register as strange. I'd bought this cute crescent-shaped desk lamp for my reading nook, minimalist, warm glow, perfect for nights when the world felt too loud. A week later, I went over to Lisa's and saw the exact same lamp on her nightstand. "Oh my God," she said when she caught me staring, laughing. "You're such a bad influence." I saw yours and couldn't resist. I laughed too. It felt flattering, in a weird way. Like my taste mattered. Then came the hair dye. I'd gone from my usual dark brown to a lighter, almost honey shade one weekend just to feel something different. Lisa showed up to brunch the next week with the same color, except hers was a little glossier, a little neater. "Twins," she giggled, holding up her coffee. I told myself it was harmless. People copied celebrities all the time, why not friends? But then it snowballed. Same laptop case. Same sneakers. Same nail polish. Even the way she started saying literally in that drawn-out, sarcastic tone I'd picked up from TikTok. She'd quote my favorite shows before I could. She even started following the same influencers I did and commenting the same things under their posts. It was like watching a funhouse mirror version of myself slowly step into focus. Still me, but off somehow. My boyfriend, Ryan, noticed before I did. "She's like your clone," he teased once when Lisa tagged us in a group photo. "All she needs is your jacket and she could literally swap places with you." I laughed then, too. But that night, lying in bed, I couldn't stop thinking about it. When did inspiration start feeling like invasion? At that point, I still thought I was being paranoid. That maybe Lisa just really admired me, and that wasn't such a terrible thing. But deep down, some small, whispering part of me knew, this wasn't about admiration anymore. It was about becoming. At first, it still felt innocent enough, like Lisa just had a me phase. I mean, who hasn't borrowed a bit of a friend's style before? We all do it. We share clothes, playlists, makeup hacks. I thought it was sweet that she wanted to be more confident, more expressive. But somewhere along the way, it stopped being about sharing and started being about copying. It began small, in ways that were easy to brush off. I bought a pair of white sneakers with little embroidered daisies on the sides, and Lisa coincidentally got the same ones the next week. When I switched from Android to an iPhone, she texted me, "You were right, I needed the upgrade," followed by a selfie holding her new iPhone in the same lilac case as mine. I rolled my eyes and sent back a laughing emoji. But then she started curating her Instagram feed to match mine, same beige aesthetic, same captions about slow mornings and quiet joy, even down to the same filters. I'd post a photo of a book beside a latte, and 2 days later she'd post the same setup, same angle, same vibe, same heart emoji. My friends joked that we were synced. I smiled, but my stomach twisted every time her post went up. When I changed my hair to a soft, almost platinum blonde after years of staying dark, Lisa texted me a picture from the salon a week later. "Guess who's your hair twin now?" That was when Ryan started raising eyebrows. "Okay, that's weird," he said one night while scrolling through her feed. You don't think she's trying to be you, do you? I laughed it off. No, she just likes my style. He gave me this look, the kind that said he didn't buy it but didn't want to push. Sure. Just, keep an eye on it, okay? The thing is, I wanted to believe Lisa's intentions were good. She'd always been a little lost, a little unsure of herself. Growing up, she said her family made her feel invisible, her mom was controlling, her dad absent. I thought maybe she just admired me because I was, in her words, the kind of person who knows who they are. But the longer it went on, the more it felt like she was erasing herself to make room for me. I'd get new glasses, and she'd show up in the same frames. I'd start saying, "Oh my God, stop," whenever I laughed, and suddenly it was her catchphrase too. I changed my perfume, she switched to it within a week. Once, she came over wearing the same cardigan I'd bought from a small boutique during a weekend trip with Ryan. I hadn't even posted about it anywhere. When I asked how she found it, she just smiled and said, "I searched for one like yours until I found it." That made my heart stutter. Because that meant she'd been looking, digging, actively trying to track it down. The weirdest part? Everyone around us noticed, but Lisa didn't seem embarrassed. My coworker joked, "If you two ever switch apartments, no one will even notice." My mom laughed, "She must really look up to you." And for a while, I tried to see it that way. But one night, when I caught Lisa mimicking the way I gestured mid-story, the same hand movements, the same pause before laughing, it hit me differently. It didn't look like admiration anymore. It looked like rehearsal. Like she was practicing being me. And I couldn't shake the feeling that, sooner or later, she'd want to take that role for real. The line between flattering and frightening snapped one afternoon at the gym. I joined a yoga class to unwind from work stress, one of those small, candlelit studios that smelled like eucalyptus and peace. It was my private escape, no coworkers, no boyfriend, no notifications. Just me. 2 weeks in, I was rolling out my mat when I heard a familiar voice behind me. Oh my God, what a coincidence. Lisa stood there, beaming, clutching a brand new yoga mat that was identical to mine, same lavender color, same strap, same brand logo. I blinked. "You joined this class?" "Yeah," she chirped, settling down beside me. "You talked about how much you loved it, so I figured, why not try it too?" There were plenty of studios in the city. But she'd picked mine. Without asking. Without even mentioning it beforehand. After that, she started showing up everywhere. I'd grab coffee before work, she'd just happen to be there. I'd go to a book club with friends from my office, and she'd turn up, smiling, claiming someone had invited her last minute. It wasn't just proximity anymore, it was intrusion. One night at dinner with Ryan and two of his friends, she tagged along because, apparently, she hadn't eaten yet and was in the area. I didn't even remember telling her where we were going. The next morning, Ryan leaned on the kitchen counter and said, "Babe, she's starting to creep me out." "Lisa?" I frowned. "She's just friendly." "Friendly?" He raised an eyebrow. "She told my friend the same story you told me last week. Word for word. The one about your grandpa's old car?" My stomach dropped. That was my story, something I'd told her years ago, about learning to drive in my grandpa's rusted Honda and accidentally backing into a mailbox. Lisa had never even met him. It didn't stop there. She started sprinkling my phrases into her conversations, repeating my jokes at parties. Once, at a mutual friend's birthday, I overheard her talking about the week I got food poisoning in Barcelona. I'd been the one in Barcelona. Lisa had never left the country. I pulled her aside after that. "Hey," I said, trying to sound casual, "you've been borrowing some of my stories lately." She blinked innocently. "Oh. I didn't even realize. I just thought they were funny. I guess they stuck with me." She smiled so sweetly I almost believed her. Almost. Then one night, Ryan and I were watching a movie, and my phone buzzed, a text from Lisa. "You and Ryan looked so cute today. Except, we hadn't posted anything. Not a story, not a photo. I looked up, uneasy, and Ryan frowned. How would she? I didn't want to finish the thought. The next day, I checked her Instagram stories. One of them was a selfie at the park, our park, the one Ryan and I walked through every Saturday morning. The caption read, "My favorite little weekend ritual." That's when Ryan said it again, this time more serious, "She's not copying you anymore. She's inserting herself into your life." I laughed it off, but I couldn't sleep that night. Because he was right. And as much as I wanted to believe it was just Lisa being clingy, the pit in my stomach told me it was something darker, something that wouldn't stop until she'd replaced me completely. It hit me how far things had gone when Lisa started dating my memories. It was a Thursday evening when she texted me out of the blue. Guess who asked me out? Alex from your office, you know him, right? My throat tightened. Alex wasn't just a guy from my office. He was someone who'd spent months flirting with me before I gently turned him down. He was handsome, funny, and very much aware that I was in a relationship. I'd told Lisa all about him back when it was happening, even laughed with her over how awkward I'd felt rejecting him. I texted back carefully. "Oh, really? Yeah, I know him. He said you two used to talk a lot," she replied. "I figured he might be your type, haha." My type. When I told Ryan, he looked at me like I'd confirmed his worst suspicion. "She's doing this on purpose now," he said. "She's literally building her life out of your leftovers." At first, I wanted to think maybe it was coincidence. Maybe Alex didn't even remember the small crush he'd had on me. But when Lisa posted a photo of the two of them at the same Italian restaurant Ryan had taken me to on our third date, same table by the window, same candle, I felt the blood drain from my face. Her caption? "He calls me his muse." That line. That line. It was exactly what Ryan had written under our first couple photo 2 years ago. Word for word. I tried to tell myself I was overreacting, that she wasn't trying to hurt me, just emulate what she thought happiness looked like. But when I met up with her the following week, something in her eyes made me uneasy. She showed up wearing a pale blue dress I'd worn to a wedding months earlier. Same cut, same fabric, same delicate gold earrings. "You inspired me," she said, twirling like a child waiting for praise. Even her perfume was mine. At dinner, she talked about Alex, how kind he was, how he understood her the way no one else did. I listened in stunned silence as she described him using my words, the same phrases I'd used to describe Ryan years ago. The same cadence, the same tone. When she excused herself to the restroom, I sat there staring at the empty seat across from me, and for the first time in our entire friendship, I felt pure fear. Because Lisa wasn't copying me anymore. She was rehearsing. That night, Ryan wrapped his arm around me as I lay stiff in bed. "You know this isn't normal, right?" he whispered. "I know," I said. My voice cracked. "But what do I even do? She's my best friend." Or she was. He hesitated. "Then maybe it's time you stop being hers." I didn't answer. Because deep down, I already knew he was right, but I wasn't ready to face what that would mean. 2 days later, I saw Lisa and Alex together in public. He was laughing, she was holding his arm, and for a split second, before she noticed me, her smile was mine. The same tilt, the same dimple, even the same way I used to tuck my hair behind my ear when I was nervous. And that's when it hit me, Lisa didn't just want my style. She wanted my life. And if I didn't stop her soon, I wasn't sure what would be left of it for me to keep. After that day in the park, Lisa with my old almost boyfriend, laughing in my dress, wearing my smile, I couldn't unsee it. Every time she texted, every tag on Instagram, every "hey bestie," felt like a reminder that she was slowly peeling my skin and stitching it onto herself. I tried to distance myself. I stopped replying right away, skipped our usual Friday dinners, let messages sit unread. But Lisa didn't take the hint. She doubled down, texting every morning, showing up at my favorite cafe by accident, even dropping off little gifts at my door, a scarf identical to one I'd lost, a candle labeled with my birth month, a note that read, "For my twin soul." Ryan said, "You need to tell her to stop." I wanted to. God, I wanted to. But every time I imagined that conversation, I pictured her face crumbling, tears welling up, and me, always the peacemaker, apologizing before I even said the words. So I did what I do best, pretended it was fine. Until it wasn't. One night, Ryan and I went to a friend's engagement party. We hadn't seen Lisa in weeks, and I finally felt like I could breathe. But halfway through the evening, I felt a tap on my shoulder. "Wow," a voice purred. "We have the same dress." I turned around, and there she was. Lisa. Wearing the same black satin slip I'd bought for the event. Same delicate gold chain. Same smoky eyeliner. She'd even styled her hair the same way. The room spun. People around us laughed awkwardly, thinking it was a joke. "You guys planned this, right?" someone said. I forced a smile. "No. Just coincidence." But Lisa leaned in, eyes glittering, and whispered, "You always did have good taste." Ryan's jaw tightened. He took my hand, murmured something about needing air, and pulled me outside. "This is beyond weird," he said. "She's obsessed with you." I didn't argue. Because I couldn't. That night, I checked her Instagram again. She'd posted a selfie from the party already, captioned, "So lucky to have people who inspire me to be my best self, 2 hearts #gratitude." In the background of the photo, slightly blurred, but visible enough, was Ryan. My Ryan. I stared at the screen, numb. Was it a coincidence he was in frame? Or had she angled the shot to make sure he was there? The next day, I couldn't take it anymore. I called her. "Lisa, we need to talk." She sounded thrilled. "Finally. I've missed you. I was starting to think you were mad at me." "I am," I said quietly. The silence that followed was sharp. "What do you mean?" "You're copying me. You're inserting yourself into my life. You're taking things that aren't yours." When she finally spoke, her voice trembled, but not with guilt. With anger. "Why do you always assume everything's about you?" she snapped. "You think you invented having blonde hair or wearing dresses? God, you sound so full of yourself." I froze. That wasn't the Lisa I knew. "Lisa," I said softly, "this isn't normal. You're crossing boundaries." Her breath hitched. "You don't understand," she said, almost whispering now. "You get everything so easily. People love you. You're you. I just want to feel that way too." I didn't know what to say. "Lisa," I said finally, "you can't find yourself by trying to erase someone else." She hung up without another word. For a week, there was silence. No calls, no messages, no surprise encounters. I thought maybe, finally, it was over. But then one night, Ryan came home from work, looking pale. "What's wrong?" I asked. He handed me his phone. On the screen was Lisa's newest post, a mirror selfie in his building's lobby, captioned, "Love how fate keeps bringing people together." And that's when I knew, this wasn't over. It was about to get worse. After that post, the one in Ryan's building lobby, I couldn't breathe right for days. I'd sit in meetings and feel my heart sprinting, every phone buzz making my hands shake. Ryan swore he'd never seen her there, that she must have followed someone inside, but I could tell he was rattled too. "She's not just imitating you anymore," he said quietly. "She's stalking us." I reported the photo, blocked her on every platform, and switched my accounts to private. But blocking Lisa was like slamming a door she already had a key to. She always found a way back in. 2 nights later, Ryan and I went out for dinner, no social media, no posting. Just us. But as we were walking home, a car slowed beside us, and I swear I saw her in the driver's seat. The same blonde hair, the same glint in the headlights. The car sped off before I could be sure. That night, Ryan suggested, maybe you should talk to someone, like a therapist, or even the police. But I didn't want to sound paranoid. Lisa was my friend. The girl who once stayed up all night comforting me when my grandma died. Surely she wouldn't hurt me. I was wrong. That weekend, while Ryan was out of town for work, someone buzzed my apartment around 9 p.m. When I checked the monitor, it was Lisa, holding a paper bag, eyes red like she'd been crying. "Please," she said through the speaker, her voice trembling. "Can we just talk?" I brought wine. "I'm sorry." Every part of me screamed no, but old habits die hard. I buzzed her in. She walked in like she'd never been gone, hugged me, commented on the candles, even complimented my new throw blanket. For 20 minutes, we danced around small talk like strangers pretending to be friends. Then, she started crying. "I didn't mean to scare you," she said, clutching her glass of wine. I feel like I'm disappearing. Like everyone loves you, and I'm just the blurry one next to you in photos." My throat tightened. "Lisa, you're not blurry. But this, what you're doing, it's not healthy." She looked up, eyes wet but sharp. "You think I don't know that? You think I want to be like this? You make it so easy to want your life." I stayed still, heart thudding. "Lisa, you need help." Her lips trembled. "I just wanted someone to see me the way Ryan sees you." The name landed like a stone. "What does that mean?" I asked. She looked away. "He's nice to me. He listens. He asked if I was okay once, and no one ever asks me that." "Lisa." My voice cracked. "Don't." But she kept talking. "You're lucky, you know. To be loved like that." I just wanted to know what it felt like. That's when I noticed something on her wrist. A bracelet. Silver, delicate, with a little heart charm. The same one Ryan had given me on my last birthday. "Where did you get that?" I whispered. Her eyes flicked down. "Oh," she said, too quickly. "I found one online that looked like yours. Thought it was cute." But the engraving, our initials, was still there. "Lisa," I said slowly, "that's mine." She froze, eyes wide. I borrowed it," she stammered. "You left it at the gym once, remember?" I hadn't. I never took jewelry to the gym. I stood up, shaking. "I think you need to go." Her face twisted, desperation replacing guilt. "Don't do this," she pleaded. "Don't throw me away." "Lisa," I said, forcing the words out, "you already threw me away." For a second, she didn't move. Then she smiled, a strange, brittle smile, and set her empty glass down. "You'll regret this," she whispered. "You don't understand what it's like to be nobody." And then she left. When Ryan came home the next day, I told him everything. He wanted to change the locks immediately. I agreed. But that night, before I fell asleep, I got one last text from an unknown number. "If you won't share your life, I'll make my own version." No name. But I didn't need one. It was her. After that text, I started sleeping with the lights on. Every creak in the apartment sounded like footsteps. I couldn't even check social media anymore. Every time I did, there she was. New photos, new captions, new me. Lisa didn't disappear like I'd hoped. She doubled down. Within days, she'd dyed her hair even lighter, almost white blonde, and started wearing the exact same style of clothes I'd been favoriting on Pinterest. I know because I checked, same pins, same boards, same captions like dreaming of soft mornings. Then she launched a new Instagram account. At first, I didn't recognize it was hers, new handle, new bio, but her face was unmistakable. The name? At Life of Lara. My name. My actual name. At first, I laughed in disbelief. Then I scrolled. She'd copied my entire feed. Photo for photo. The reading nook, the latte art, even my weekend hike photos, with a different trail but the same poses, the same boots, the same words. The bio read, learning to love life again. Writer. Dreamer. Lover of quiet joy. That last phrase, lover of quiet joy, was the tagline I'd written on my website when I launched my freelance portfolio. My career. I called Ryan at work, half crying, half furious. She made an account pretending to be me. What? She's using my name, my photos, my captions. It's like she's building a mirror version of my life online. He went silent for a moment. That's seriously unhinged, Lara. You need to call someone. The police, maybe. But what would I even say? Hi, my best friend is cosplaying as me online and possibly losing her mind. I reported the account, but the next day, a new one appeared. This one with my middle name. Then another, private, with a username that matched Ryan's initials and hers. He was furious when I showed him. This isn't imitation anymore, it's identity theft. Still, Lisa didn't stop there. A few days later, I got a call from a client I'd been working with for months. Hey, Lara, she said awkwardly, I just wanted to confirm, you didn't hire someone to represent you, right? My stomach dropped. What do you mean? Well, someone emailed us claiming to be your assistant, saying you were expanding your brand and asked if we could forward payments to a new account. My hands went cold. Do you have the email? She sent it to me. The signature read Lisa S., Executive Assistant. That night, Ryan and I sat on the couch in silence, the email glowing on my screen like a wound. She's trying to become you, he said quietly. Completely. I nodded, numb. She already has a version of my job, my look, my voice online. What's next? I didn't have to wait long to find out. The next morning, I got a text from an unknown number. Hi Lara, it's Alex. Lisa told me you two aren't talking anymore. Just wanted to check in. You okay? I froze. Alex, the guy who'd once liked me before Lisa started dating him. She'd told him we weren't speaking. She'd gotten to him, too. And when I checked his profile out of morbid curiosity, my blood ran cold. His latest post was a photo of Lisa. She was wearing my necklace. The caption read, "She's my muse." The exact words Ryan had once written about me. It was like she'd stolen my timeline and pasted herself over every memory. That night, I looked in the mirror and felt something I hadn't felt in years, like I didn't exist. Like I was the copy now, and she was the original. Ryan hugged me from behind and whispered, "We'll fix this. She can't take your life if you take it back first." But his words couldn't shake the dread sitting heavy in my chest. Because deep down, I knew Lisa wasn't done yet. She'd taken my image. My stories. My name. The only thing left to steal was the life standing beside me, Ryan. After everything she'd copied, my words, my look, my memories, I still didn't believe Lisa would cross that line. But obsession doesn't stop where logic begins. It spills. It infects. It takes the last thing you think it can have and reaches anyway. It started with a message on Ryan's work email. A thank you note. At least that's how he described it when he showed me. Hey Ryan, thanks again for helping me fix my computer the other day. You're seriously the kindest. I owe you coffee sometime, smiley face, Lisa. I stared at it. Helping her fix her computer? He frowned. I never touched her computer. I haven't even seen her in weeks. My mouth went dry. Then why is she saying that? He exhaled. Because she wants you to think I did. It was such a small thing, but I felt something inside me snap. Because it wasn't about computers, it was about control. She was trying to wedge herself between us, little by little, rewriting the narrative until I looked paranoid and she looked close to him. I tried ignoring her, tried to believe that silence would starve whatever hunger she had. But 2 days later, she proved she didn't need me to play along, she could write both sides of the story herself. I opened Instagram, scrolled mindlessly, and stopped cold. Lisa had posted a photo of 2 coffee cups on a wooden table, one black, one latte. No people in frame, just hands. But one of those hands looked unmistakably like Ryan's. The same watch, the same scar on his knuckle. Her caption, "Funny how the right people always find each other again." My stomach flipped so violently I had to put the phone down. When I showed Ryan, he swore it wasn't him. He even rolled up his sleeves, defensive. "Lara, I haven't seen her. You have to believe me." I did believe him. Mostly. But the seed of doubt had been planted, and Lisa knew it. The next day, she sent me a voice note. I don't even know how she got my new number, I'd changed it weeks earlier. Her voice was calm, eerily tender. "You always thought you were better than me. But I understand him, Lara. I really do. He needs someone who doesn't make him feel small." That broke something in me. Ryan wanted to call the police, but what would they even do? There were no threats, just eerie insinuations wrapped in fake politeness. "She's dangerous," he said. "I don't care if it's emotional, psychological, whatever, she's dangerous." That night, we packed a bag and drove to his brother's place 2 hours away. I didn't tell anyone we were leaving. No posts, no texts, no location tags. For the first time in months, I slept through the night. But peace doesn't last when someone's obsessed with you. 2 mornings later, as I stepped outside to grab coffee, my heart stopped. Parked across the street was a car I recognized, same dent in the bumper, same faded sunflower air freshener hanging from the rearview mirror. Lisa's. She wasn't doing anything. Just sitting there. Watching. I called Ryan, whispering. "She's here." By the time he came running out, the car was gone. He held me close, whispering, "We're getting a restraining order. Today." But even as I nodded, shaking in his arms, one thought pulsed behind my ribs like a heartbeat I couldn't silence. Lisa had followed us without knowing where we were going. Which meant she didn't just know my life. She was inside it. The restraining order process dragged, but Lisa didn't wait. 2 days later, she showed up at my building, again. This time, she didn't buzz or hide in her car. She just stood there in the rain, waiting. I should have called the police. Instead, I walked out. Maybe I needed to see her one last time. "Why are you doing this, Lisa?" I asked, my voice shaking. She looked hollow. Her mascara ran down her cheeks, her hair limp and bleached too far. "I just wanted to feel loved the way you are," she whispered. "You have everything, and I thought if I could be like you, if I could be you, someone might finally stay." For the first time, I didn't feel fear. I felt pity. "You can't build love out of someone else's skin," I said quietly. "You have to find your own." She sobbed, covering her face. When I turned to leave, she didn't follow. She just stood there, small and trembling, as if the truth itself had burned her. That was the last time I saw her. A week later, she moved out of the city. Her social accounts vanished. No goodbye, no closure, just silence. But honestly, that was all I'd ever wanted. The weeks after Lisa disappeared felt surreal, like the air finally cleared after a storm I didn't realize I'd been breathing through for years. Every morning, I'd wake up and brace for a message that never came. No tags. No mirrors. No echoes of my own words bouncing back at me. Just quiet. Ryan and I changed our numbers, moved apartments, even took a short trip to the coast to reset. The first night there, sitting on the balcony with the sea humming below, he said softly, "It's over." I wanted to believe him. And for once, I did. I didn't check social media for a month. When I finally did, I saw something strange. Lisa's clone accounts were gone. Deleted. No trace left, like she'd erased herself entirely. For the first time, I didn't feel haunted. I felt free. I started therapy, picked up painting again, cut my hair short, my decision, my reflection, mine. Every change felt like reclaiming a small piece of myself she'd tried to steal. One night, as I was scrolling through old photos, I stopped on one of us, Lisa and me, laughing on my couch, wine glasses in hand. We looked so happy. So harmless. I thought about how I'd missed the warning signs back then, the small imitations I'd brushed off as love. Maybe she really had loved me, in her own broken way. Maybe that was the tragedy of it all. But love built on imitation isn't love, it's hunger. And I refused to be anyone's meal anymore. I deleted the photo and set my phone down. Ryan came up behind me, wrapping his arms around my shoulders. "You okay?" he asked. "Yeah," I said, meaning it for the first time. "I lost my friend, but I found myself." He kissed my temple. "And this time?" I smiled. "This time, it's only the real me."